I'm Amrit, the CEO and founder of Walfinch. Today, I'm going to tell you how you can get the most out of the show. First tip, do your homework. You wouldn't go into a really important meeting without knowing who's going to be at the table and figuring out what sort of questions you want to ask. So prep beforehand. Think about brands or industries that you've got passions with, and then identify 5 to 10 brands, figure out their strengths and weaknesses, and have planned questions that you want to go and ask them. Prepare your questions. I'd really think about asking all the franchisors that you meet, what kind of support do they provide in that first year, 18 months, and how does it look on an ongoing basis? Super important. Having been a franchisee myself, I really understand that is really crucial. Support is everything. Number 2, what is their selection process? How many people have they said no to in the last 12 months? It really kind of gives you a bit of insight as to what you need to be asking and who you're speaking to. Number 3, how do they deal with conflict management? If you have an issue or they have an issue, what would that look like? Go beyond the basics in your questions. Number 4, what does the current performance look like with franchisees? How are they actually doing? And number 5, I would really think about speaking to current franchisees. You want to speak to people that are doing super well, people that are, middle of the road, and people that have had a rocky start as well, because, we've all been there. But you want to understand how all of these people have been supported by the franchisor, whether, they were the right people for it and so on, but gives you a clear understanding as to who you're working with. Okay, next big tip, network like a pro. Franchise exhibitions are not just about meeting the franchisors, they're about meeting anyone else that you've got there. Suppliers, lawyers, there might be people from the British Franchise Association. There might be other fellow franchisees that have got multi-units, and you can listen to what their journeys have been like. Personal story of mine, I was out in the States at a franchise exhibition, and I sat down with somebody just very randomly while we were having our lunch. And it turns out that she was in the same industry as me, had grown this huge business, franchisee of a different brand, and we ended up exchanging notes, and I learned loads from her. Later she went and wrote a book which we can circulate too, so really good fun. Okay, next thing. Prepare what talks that you want to go to ahead of coming. So think about your own skill set, look at the talks that are going on, and think about where the gaps in your own knowledge are, and book in to go to the talks ahead of time so you've got a nice schedule as to where you want to go and who you want to speak to. The next huge thing that I'd say is evaluate the company culture. So look at the franchisors, think about the type of support that they provide, really dig into that. And then think about the company culture, and does it resonate with you and your culture and how you'd like to operate a business? Because one of the key things that I found as a franchisee is that a lot of it is around chemistry, and if you've got the right chemistry, you can go much further. Another huge thing I would say is take notes. Take lots of notes, think about who you've got there, and that will help you evaluate as soon as you leave. And I would do a very prompt follow-up. The biggest thing that I think that can help you is that very quick and prompt follow-up, so that you can navigate through all of the notes that you've got, all of the brochures and all of the leaflets while it's fresh in your mind, rank it, write it in your notes, and then pick up the phone, arrange meetings, Zoom calls or whatever it might be, and continue with that education piece while it's fresh in your mind. Enjoy the show, and I look forward to seeing you there.